Hi, okay, let's build a low polyisometric garage to my cars. So I start out by appending in all the cars from the other file, and then I start with the walls and the ground for the cars and the size I think I will need for the cars. And then I start making the object. I will cut out the garage doors with a simple boolean operation, and I try to place them and size them the way that I want, and I try to name all the parts as I make them. And then I start to move the cars again and try to place them out to see how I best make use of the space I have. But this will come to change later on. And then I just try to add some ground outside the garage and as the pickup truck drives in. Maybe leave a package of some kind later on. And here I use Blender's free add-on beam builder to use that U beam, and this will the garage door will slide in this one. So just place them out and snap them in place. And then, as always, I always used to add some easy materials from the beginning so I easily see what's happening. And then I start out making the door, and this I will use array modifier to make, because it's easy to adjust how it looks and so on. And then I will cut out a window, and this is the part I'm making right here. And as you maybe saw before, that I have a really big local material library, and that's because I appended all the cars with the materials. So yeah, it's both for good and bad, but maybe later I will clean it up. So here I'm trying to make the glass for the window, but right now I will just use a placeholder material and add some glass later on. Working with big environments like this, where there is a lot of stuff, I used to start out with just the stuff and add details and refining later on. So that's the approach I will take for this build. And here I'm just parenting and applying some modifiers to be easy to work with the doors later on. And during this build you will see me making a lot of different stuff without any reference images, but I actually have a lot of reference images on my other screen, so that's why you do not see them. So I, as always, recommend to use as much reference images as you can. And here I'm trying to figure out what I should build next, and I'm deciding to do a dyno for my Lamborghini so I can give it all the horsepower it deserves. And a dyno is quite easy to build. It's just simple shapes and using the mirror modifier and moving the objects into place. And here I had a placeholder for a diamond grid steel material that I will add later on. If I can see it, I will decide that later on. And here I start working with the safety band that will keep the car in place if something goes south. Here I'm working with the ramps for the car. I did not actually get too happy about them, so I remade them, but the recording didn't catch that. So if you wonder why it changed later on, it's because I remade them in another way, because I didn't like the solution I did for this one. And here I start blocking out what objects I should have in the garage, because I'm not completely sure, so I just want to have the big shapes of it and then define and refine later on. So that's what's happening here, and that cylinder should be a fire extinguisher later on. And that should be a TV with some kind of diagrams on it. And here I used the beam builder again to start out with the first part for the hoist. So here I'm trying out to see what size seem to be reasonable, and then just adding parts and adjusting and fixing. And here I used the also free add-on for Blender, just activate it in preferences, and it's the bolt factor, I think it's called. And it's great for environments like this. And the reason why we need a hoist right now is because the Skyline is unfortunately leaking some oil. So it's quite sad, but we really need to fix that. So time to get the car in the air. So I just pull up one side because we're going to mirror this later on, and try to place the car as reasonable as I can. And here I realized that I want to make the garage way smaller, but I also want to make this render isometric. And for the best isometric views, I think it should be more square. So I just made a new cube, 15 times 15 meters, So here I'm just setting up the camera and adding the solidified modifier again and moving all the stuff into place again. And here I'm trying to figure out how I best use this space, but this will come to change a lot later on. So the move is done, so now it's time for me to add an office, and I want the office to be on the second floor, so I will just block out the office and then build a spiral stair, and this is what I'm trying to do here. And there are several ways to do this, but I wanted to do a mesh spiral stair, so this is my solution for it. And time to move stuff again, because the Jimny have gotten a flat tire, so we need to change that. Yeah, and here I realized that I need to turn off all the lights of the cars that are not in use. We can not have them on because the battery will drain. And here I add some oil drums that I will finish up later on. And here I start making a gas tube for the welding gas. So the Jimnys flat tire, so time to do something about that. So first off we need to take away the tire, and it seems that I didn't need a jack screw, but I think I will add one later on anyway. But I placed some struts under the car so it will not fall down and break something. And here I'm trying to figure out what to do next, but then I remember that the Saab 900 have some problem with starting up, so I think it's time to bring it in and open up the hood to see what's wrong with the engine. But first I realize I don't trust the roof of this building, so I need to add a pillar so I can be safe in here. And I also want to add some graphics to the walls, some warning stripes so you easier see the walls. So it's time to address the issue with the Saab and its engine. So we need to open up the hood. So we just lift it up and put it against the wall. And then we cut into the engine bay. And as you can see, the engines seem to be missing. So this is bad. This will be real pricey. And I'm not a big YouTuber, so I don't have the money for a new engine right now, but maybe later on. So I decided to just modify the engine bay a little bit so it will be easier to install the engine later on. But if we someday get an engine, I think we should have an engine crane ready. So it's time to build that. And to start out with, I will just build this quite rough and add more details to the engine crane later on. so this video is starting to get quite long. So this will be the first part of the build of the isometric low poly garage. Thanks for watching, and if you like this, please subscribe and give this video a like. Bye.